I went to put a new dipstick tube in for the oil because mine had a small crack in it. So I went and I bought a brand new one. Went to put it in there. They had two AutoZone, keep in mind. Went to put it in there, fished it around the header since it's flipped now. Stabbed it in there, the very end where it bubbles out, broke off in the pan. At this point I think I don't want to pull this pan. I try to grab it with a magnet and pull it out. What do? I push it straight in the pan. I hear it hit the bottom and I'm like, and so now that it's together, I'm wanting to kind of like spice it up, you know, make it look a little better. I put my Mason Racing logo on the intercooler piping. You know, I built it. This is my pride and joy. I go down this local country road in Mexico. I roll into it, makes good boost, good power. I'm feeling it, so I stop, do my burnout, pour my own juice. I'd say halfway through the pass, transmission flares up, hits the limiter. Thought I blew it up. I mean, I'm probably 3/4 into the throttle and it's doing 15 mile an hour. So I limp it home, get in there. I noticed the speed sensor on the back came unplugged a little bit. Where I had my fuel line, the torque arm pulled down on that fuel line, I guess, and unplugged it a little bit, so it wasn't reading the speed right. Plug that back in, move on to the next gremlin. Another video, one of many that I did on Snapchat like this. Anytime I drove the car, I wanted to post a video. So people know, you know, I'm out having fun. It's a blast driving this car. Then comes the two-step. We're hanging out in my buddy Wesley's shop. He opens this drawer. He's got like 4 or 5 of these MSDs in there, and I'm sitting there like, I need one of those. And he's like, threw me a price. We ran to 7-Eleven, got back. We plugged this up on my buddy Woody's truck just to test it to see how it worked. Once I heard that, we put it on my car, and ever since then, oh my God, I burnt this damn thing so much. That is like my signature right there, is to sit there and shoot massive 8-foot fireballs with this two-step. And rolling anti-lag with this thing is amazing. So here we upped the fuel a little bit just so we could get a picture of the fireball. I went ahead and rocked with it and it is awesome. I actually drove this car to work, 45 degrees, 16 degrees, it didn't matter. I drove it just like my daily. It is a street car. I will always keep it a street car no matter how far it goes down the line. I will drive it anywhere. I think I was doing a little fixing on the wiring. I was touching up a few little things. So my daughter, she's out there playing Call of Duty on her iPad. She sat out there next to me. I love having her by my side. It's comforting having her help me on the car, you know. Trying to get her into it. I don't know if she's quite into it yet. I don't want to force her, so I'm letting her do her thing, but she came out there on her own and made my day. 4:30 in the morning, letting it warm up in the neighborhood. I'm about to drive it to work, and I believe this is a day where it's like 16 degrees when I come after work, and it is a bitch to start. In this video, we had a lot of issues of my my O2 sensor. For some reason, right after we launched, when it like starts pulling hard, it would completely just shut off, and it would sit there and flash and flash. So honestly, we were literally just pissing in the wind on the wideband. We just kind of guessed, and what we could, we would tune for it. The little gray areas, we just kind of wanted, you know, and it worked. I don't know how this motor hasn't blown up. I think it has 25 or 30,000 miles on it from factory, from the car that I pulled it from. It's a trooper, man. I mean, I hit 26 pounds whenever they pinned the wastegate shut, whenever I had a little mishap here, you'll see in a second. I didn't even let off the throttle. Like, I kind of pedaled it a little bit, and I just stayed in. Here's a video that I like. This is right when we got the anti-lag from a roll dialed in. See what kind of car that is. I love doing this. This is so fun. On the way I have mine set up since the auto, I have to put it in neutral. I grab my button, put it back in drive, pull it in second, first, whatever I need to. I usually have to be below 40 miles per hour. I'll hold this button and I literally just put it to the floor. I let it sit there, bounce, build boost, and whenever I'm ready to go, I let go of that button and it's like a rolling trans brake. At the time, it's winter. I couldn't find many people that wanted to dig race, so we went out and tried to find some people that were roll racing. And I used it every single race. And the looks that we got on some of these people that had like nice Hellcats, they want to go on the right side, their mistake. When they start shooting fireballs into their car, they're out. They roll up the window, drive off. Here is my boy Seth. He wanted to get some anti-lag photos of some cars locally. I just so happened to be lucky to be one of the ones that he picked. This dude is dedicated. He rode on the highway on a rack behind a truck just to get photos of my car doing these monster fireballs, and they are the best, my favorite photos of the car. It took me probably, I would say, a year or so before I actually saw, no, it is probably a couple months, I actually found out that whenever, this is the night that my wastegate, we were on the two-step probably for a solid 2 hours of just going, hitting the two-step, shooting flames, slowing down, hit the two-step, shooting flames, trying to get good photos. In this photo, you can actually zoom in, you can see fire in my engine bay. This is whenever the wastegate broke off and it started to shoot fireballs all in the engine bay. Whenever it did happen, me and Brandon looked at each other, we heard a weird noise and it just didn't sound the same. And you know, we kind of rocked with it a little bit. We did maybe a few more photos and we're like, you know, we just need to, we're going to the track the next day. We need to, you know, call it quits. Go to the track where it's not really wanting to get up on boost. I know there's something wrong because it's acting completely different. It's still leaving good, but it's just not making the same power and the boost is not consistent. We even got this little, I believe it's like an air regulator for something. We built it from AutoZone for $7. It's a manual boost controller. No matter what we did, it just kind of did its own thing. And we looked it over, we just did a quick glance, everything looked fine. But more and more over time, after making more passes, it slowly started burning away my vacuum lines on the wastegate. This video right here, you can definitely tell it is hurt. Like something is definitely wrong. I cannot drive this. I need to do a once over. I need to go through everything and double check. I don't. I go to the track the next day because I didn't find anything. I put new front tires on the car. It was showing cords, definitely not safe to drive. Go to the track, the rear has cords on it too. Brandon let me borrow his 29 tires. We were shocked that they fit. I just couldn't turn too sharp or they'd rub. He took them off his car just so I could go to the track and dial this in. He was my ride or die. He was there by my side through this entire thing. I froze him out, no heater. He had a Carhartt, 2 hoodies. I gave him a comforter to cover up. He's just sitting there shivering with the laptop, and I'm just sitting there sweating my ass off because I have a hole in the firewall right where the exhaust is, so I'm hot. He has a hole on the floorboard where he's just freezing cold. And I mean, he is dedicated. He is a good friend. I'm glad I had him there by my side the whole time. Here, there was a local mega meet at the time, I believe. I wrapped the car in wrapping paper. I figured it'd be cool to do red, white, and blue. You know, it's Christmas. Put the Rudolph ears on it and stuff. Don't know how many times we rolled down the window, had to stop and go back and get this antler. It scratched the out of my hood. I will not do this again. The tape I used strong tape and it ended up eating some of the clear coat too on the sides where the window is. Pisses me off. I won't be doing that again. We had a weird noise happening. It was like, it sounded like Chewbacca taking a Little did I know that it's the flywheel. I thought maybe it was converter, transmission, you know, my bottom end. A little later, I found out what the issue was. It ended up being my flywheel. I'll show you a picture of that in a second. We still go ahead and go out there. It kind of stops doing it. You know, our Santa hats on. We got these Walmart shirts that are Santa. We were ready to just go hand out Gap cards for Christmas. We're just cruising, you know, having fun, showing our Christmas spirit to our local car scene. Once we leave Mega Meat, my tires are shit. I can't even race anyone. So I go down the back road, and I decided to just roast these tires. They are so bad that there's literally barely any rubber on the tire, period, when I'm done with them. I do a rolling burnout for probably a half a mile. After this, we ended up going, we drove like 3 hours. I forgot who sent me the motors, sent me the link on Facebook. Dude is selling 253s. I messaged him, said, hey, I got cash in hand. I'll leave work right now. He said, gave me his address, went and scooped up Brandon. We drove like 3.5 hours. Pick these suckers up. I'm gonna end up using the parts off of one to build, they're both complete, but I'm gonna use probably the Gen 3 to build the Gen 4 and hopefully make the numbers I'm wanting. This LS1 ain't gonna survive, so I need something that's gonna hold.
And that's gonna wrap up another video on catching up where I left off on the Evil SS build. And the next video, which will be the last one, it'll show all the carnage, everything that it went through, and what led up to eventually swapping the transmission, doing the whole rewire, doing a complete revamp. Only one more video left like this, so drop a subscribe. Let me know in the comments what you think. And as always, we keep it A1 at J1 since day one.